Hey everybody, Chris McGraw from Almost Adventurous here. Sorry it's been a little bit. I was out for a couple weeks. I was shooting a video with Honda out in Sedona a couple weeks ago of the Pilot Trail Sport, doing some off-roading in the snow, and got COVID. Fun stuff. So I've been out of commission for a while, so the videos I was planning on shooting didn't happen, but we're back at it. Sorry for the voice. I'm still dealing with a few of the symptoms, but I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a jacket I brought on that trip. This is the Patagonia Hyper Puff jacket. This replaced the DAS parka that I did a review of a couple of weeks ago. And bright yellow, here we got it here. Yellowish green on the inside. One of my favorite jackets. It's a heavier jacket. It's a belay parka, just like the DAS that it replaced. So what this is meant for is it's super heavy. It's not going to be super breathable because the main thing is just to keep you warm. It's synthetic, so it's meant to keep you warm in like wet environments and to go over all of your other clothes. So if you're out belaying somebody, it gets cold, throw this on over everything, over your harness, everything, and you could just stand there and belay them. I've used this, like I've been fishing, which isn't really a high exertion activity. In blizzards before, I've thrown this on and it's kept me pretty warm. Belaying, obviously, waiting around, bouldering outside, that sort of a thing. And when I'm hiking in the shade in the winter, in the mountains here, it can get really cold. That's probably the only time I've worn it hiking is when it was very, very cold out, just because it does keep you very, very warm. So we'll talk about this compared to the DAS. I'm going to have an actual comparison video up, comparing them side by side eventually, but I will compare it to the DAS in this video. So let's talk about year. This one, I don't even know what year this is, because let's see, style, number, does it even have the year printed on this? I think it may have gotten cut off. So I mean, this one is fairly new. Here it is, 2017. So about 6 years old, fall 2017, 5 years old. Like I said, it replaced the DAS, and the DAS was a beloved jacket of mine and a lot of other people's. So when they replaced it, it had some big shoes to fill. To me, this seems a lot like almost like a really heavy Nano Air, which if you know how much I love the Nano Air, you'll know that that's singing some pretty high praises. But with the insulation and the stretchy exterior, it's a very comfortable feeling exterior. Not quite as comfortable as the Nano Air, which is probably the most comfortable fabric of any jacket that I own, but it's staying close. So yeah, the exterior, well, let's talk about the price that I got it for first. So this was originally $299 if you bought it new. I bought it for not a ton off that. It was $135, so I mean it's less than half, but it's not like a screaming deal like some of the deals that I found. Actually, there's a size medium in this like blaze orange. I think it's paintbrush red maybe is the color, but it's a really bright orange on Poshmark right now. I think I'd almost rather have that color, but these are bright colors. They do have it in black and in teal, but I do like the bright colors. So yeah, I got it for $135, and the price originally, like I said, $299. The exterior material is a nylon stretch ripstop called Pertex Quantum. Like I said, it's a nice soft fabric, similar to the Nano Air, not quite as soft, not quite as quiet, but it is stretchy. Not quite as stretchy as the Nano Air, but it does allow freedom of movement, which is great because the fit on this is a bit more snug than it is on the DAS that preceded it. I also think it's a lot quieter than the current DAS Lite and DAS offerings, which is what I like about it. I don't personally own either of those two jackets, but I have tried them on at the Patagonia store, and they are very loud. So I do like how quiet this is. Insulation wise, so this has got a HyperDAS insulation. This is warmer than the previous jacket, which is very nice. And when it is, it's almost like an accordion-like insulation. So when it is compressed into its stuff sack, which I have already lost, it does come uncompressed very easily. This is probably like the loftiest non-down jacket that I own. It's actually lighter than the Fitz Roy parka, which is the down version basically of this. It's the Patagonia's down belay parka. It's lighter than that. That being said, it's not as packable and not as warm. So it isn't as good necessarily as a down equivalent in those areas. But overall, I think I'd rather have this jacket than the Fitz Roy down version, which is that's this guy right here. Let me try it on, and I can show you, talk a little bit about some of its properties. Let me throw this over here. So like I said before, it's a trimmer fit than the DAS was, which makes it a little bit harder to throw over just like all of your layers. So here we go. I'm 5'7". This is a size medium. It's roughly, it's just like 1 pound and 1 ounce, maybe 2 ounces. So here we go. Really long sleeves, which I really like. Like I said, trimmer fit, but it is stretchy. So it allows you to throw it on over more layers. Though this is a bit tight for a belay jacket, to be honest with you. That's one of the downsides, I think, compared to something like the Fitz Roy, which is also a medium. I can throw that over all my layers, no problem, as a belay jacket. The other thing that I don't like is that it only has a one-way zipper, which if I have a harness on, so my harness is going to be fitting me right here, I need to be able to zip up. And that's something that the DAS has, and for some reason they got rid of. And the Hyper Puff, they brought it back for the new DAS lineup because they realized they screwed up. But yeah, so that's the fit. It's a bit more trim. One of the big things that's different too are the cuffs. So if you'll notice here, I'm going to have like a little bit of a zoomed in camera here. So the cuffs actually are quite a bit further inside. So they kind of overhang, which gives you some insulation around your wrists, which is kind of nice. It's a little funky, a little weird to get used to, but I do like it. It's not something that I think, you think there's 3 different style of cuffs. There's like a Velcro cuff. There's just the straight elastic like there was on the DAS. And then there's this. I'd probably say that this is my least favorite. It's a little weird. It does give you insulation around the wrist, but so do a lot of my mittens and gloves. So it's not something that I was lacking. But if you're just wearing liners, it is nice to have around the wrist. It's a little weird. The structure of this jacket, the way that the insulation is, it really is like it's a very well-structured jacket, meaning it can almost stand up on its own. The hood can stand up on its own. Breathability-wise, it's not very breathable. That's not what this is for. It's not for a high-output activity, so I'm not really worried about it there. There's just so much insulation that you're not going to get a ton of breathability there, but you are going to get a ton of warmth. Like I said, this is probably one of the warmest synthetic jackets that I own, if not the warmest synthetic jacket that I own. So it's something that I grab quite often. The hood, I do like the fit of the hood, even though it is well structured. There's a good solid pull on the back, which allows you to pull in the hood, so you could wear a helmet, or you can just wear a beanie depending on what you're doing. If you're belaying somebody, you should wear a helmet, because you never know when something might get knocked loose. Last thing you need is to get hit by a piece of rock falling down and get knocked unconscious when you are belaying somebody. A few things they got rid of. They got rid of one of the drop-in pockets, so there's only one. It's a bit of a bummer. Like, how much weight does it really save? I'm not sure, but I love having 2 drop-in pockets. 2 chest pockets would be nice too. There's only one here. It's pretty big, which is nice. You can throw your gloves or a very large cell phone. It's got 2 hand warmer pockets still that are both huge, which you could throw gloves in as well. The zipper pulls are great as well. Nice grippy rubber zipper pulls there. And it also, on the inside, has that hem drawstring at the bottom. So they're in there. Yeah, so compared to the DAS, I'd say, so it's definitely lighter, and it's definitely warmer. So, and I like some people care about what these jackets look like around town. I live in Colorado. Everybody's got jackets like this walking around town, so it's not a huge deal. But I know people have complained about how like shiny the DAS exterior is. I happen to like it. But this is a good looking jacket. I mean, it looks like a down jacket. It's got the baffles like a down jacket. It's really lofted like a down jacket. This is one of the brighter colors, like I said, but you can get them in more muted colors. So like around town, it won't look that out of place. But that's not something that I'm really too concerned about. The color does show a lot of dirt, especially around these cuffs. Like if you look at the inside of the cuffs here, they're just so dirty. And it's not something that I'm going to be washing a whole lot all the time. Speaking of washing, with the DWR, this is an incredibly weatherproof jacket just because it's so thick. And the DWR does allow you to, allows that water to just kind of brush off. That's something that you're going to have to replenish quite a bit, just because today's DWR isn't as strong, but it is better for the environment. Another thing is that with a jacket this heavy, most of the time you're going to be using it in below freezing conditions, so snow just bounces right off this. Though if you do get it wet, the synthetic insulation will still keep you warm. That's why this is one of my go-to jackets as far as belay jackets go. I have 3 different synthetic belay jackets: the Macro Puff, the DAS previous generation, and then this Hyper Puff. And this is the warmest of the 3. For sure. They all have their place. I wear all of them. I'm not looking to like get rid of one of them to clear out room in my closet. But if I were to have to pare down to just one, this is the first one that I got out of those 3, and this is the one that would remain for me personally. It's just a great look. I love the color. I love the versatility. I mean, I've used this in May during a blizzard at the sand dunes when I was camping. The women's version is also really good. I bought a women's version when we were at the sand dunes for my wife when she was pregnant. That one is a little bit more form-fitting, and she loved it. The only reason we got rid of it is, once she wasn't pregnant anymore, the medium didn't fit her. Yeah, so I love both of these jackets. I think both the men's and the women's are really well made, and if you had to choose one belay parka from Patagonia that is synthetic, I think the Hyper Puff may be the way to go, with the glaring exception of the not double zipper. If there was a way, like if you know your way around a sewing machine, if you can get the double zipper on there, that's a game changer for me. Just because it's so much quieter than the newer ones. The newer ones are really great jackets, the DAS Lite and the DAS, but they are loud. And that is something that kind of bugs me a little bit. It doesn't bug some other people, but my channel, it bugs me. So yeah, the Hyper Puff, phenomenal jacket for climbing, for belaying, and for outdoor stuff like fishing. Like I said, like when I'm fly fishing and it is, just about freezing and the snow's coming down, it can be downright cold standing in the river. And this is a great thing to throw on. I was Arctic grayling fishing a couple falls ago, and this is the thing that I wore. The lake was not frozen, thankfully, but everything else was, and this kept me really warm, and it dried really quickly when I, would get the cuffs wet in the water. So yeah, I think that I would definitely recommend this as far as the synthetic jackets go. Check it out. Someone please buy that orange one off of Poshmark. It's $150 right now. Poshmark, you can make offers, so you could probably get it for even less. Just because I love orange and it's super tempting to me right now. And I definitely don't need another version of the same jacket. I'm not going to buy it. that'd be ridiculous of me to buy it. But I'll throw that link up on my Twitter. It's at Almost Adventurous, spelled a little bit weird. If you guys could hit the subscribe button, that would be huge. I'm going to try to make more of these videos. I'm going to try to put out one a week. Maybe I'll put out 2 this week because I've been gone for a while. And thanks for the critiques in the comments. I know some of you talked about how it was hard to see some of the close-ups. Like I'm talking about the zippers here. And it's hard to see when I'm, further away from the camera. So I'm going to work on that. Got a couple different camera angles going today. And hopefully that'll make these videos a little bit better. And hopefully my voice clears up too in the coming weeks. Thanks again. Get outside. It's cold out. Just buy one of these jackets. Get outside. It's beautiful out, and it's the best place to be. Winter, summer, spring or fall, rain or shine. That's where I like to be. Get outside. Hopefully some of this stuff will help you, and look forward to some new videos coming soon. Thanks.